Well, greetings everyone. My name is The Adipose, and it has been out. It has been shown. Doctor Who Deep Breath, the first Peter Capaldi episode, has just been televised in the UK, and my camera is looking very, very dark, which I will fix it here. I'm here with the lovely, beautiful Clary Pose, who is standing just off screen to my left with our lovely little daughter Izzy, who, if you hear any squeaks and bells and whistles and...
Then please say, Isabel, go to sleep.
We are trying to get her just a little bit to sleep, but in the best possible way. So what did you think, guys, in the chat? If any of you have got any comments about it, do chat it out, and you'll see the chat will appear roughly there. And if you use the exclamation mark question, then I can probably put it up on the screen as well. But unfortunately, Twitch chat does seem to be being a bit kind of unresponsive tonight, so you may not be able to see what you are saying. But
if you haven't seen the new episode and you don't want spoilers, this is not the stream for you.
This is not the stream for you. Yeah, we're going to be completely talking about what we have seen. You know, back away if you have not yet seen the episode. So I finished the episode and kind of went, what? And Clara kind of finished it and kind of went, that was amazing. And so I guess we'll kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
You can go first.
I'll go first. Okay, well, new Doctor, very, 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 very different, deliberately. And not only is it a different Doctor, I think it's a whole kind of different pace of show. Like Matt Smith's episodes, and even David Tennant's to an extent, were kind of like, you know, run, 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 sprint, 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 action, action, action. Whereas this was really dialogue heavy, and I was enjoying it, and I was enjoying the dialogue. And actually, all the way through, before tonight's episodes, I've been kind of like, oh, I hope they don't kind of dumb it down for the kids, and you know, because they're going with an older Doctor. I was kind of thinking, well, maybe they'll kind of really go the other way in terms of like actions to try not to lose the youth. But I was actually kind of watching it and thinking the opposite, and thinking, oh my god, they're going to lose the younger viewers, because it was very, very dialogue.
That no one's commented on.
What the heck is that noise? I think there's just the Twitch chat is so bad that they can't. It's just been Twitch. It's just been Twitch. But yeah, no, I actually started wondering the other way, as if it was too dialogue heavy. Not for me, but perhaps for.
Admit it was too dialogue heavy for you.
No, it wasn't.
You couldn't understand his accent.
But they did address quite a lot of the factors that people were concerned about. You know, some people were kind of saying, well, you know, will he be Scottish? Will he be will they acknowledge the fact that he has a previous face and things, and they kind of hinted kind of all of those, which I think has gone, which is good. They didn't offer full explanations for them, but they certainly kind of hinted that way. I did get to the end and kind of go, because I'm intrigued and wondering where they're going and enjoying the kind of exploration of the new character rather than instantly going, I love it. But perhaps that's kind of better, because then you kind of, you know, it'll take time to kind of work out where the show's kind of going and yeah, what's going to be happening. What did you think?
I agree that it was very dialogue heavy. I guess the thing is that I prefer dialogue to big, long drawn out action scenes, and there was a brief fight scene right in the middle, and I was like, oh no, here we go, and then it only lasted like 5 seconds and it was over. I agree that they addressed quite a lot of the concerns. They addressed and even things, I think we commented at the time, a lot of people have kind of wondered with Capaldi, because he is so much older than both Smith and Tennant, how he was going to handle the kind of running and action scenes.
They put him on a horse.
And they put him on a horse. That's how they did it.
But you were really, really positive about them.
Yeah.
About the whole episode. So maybe pick out a couple of bits that you liked.
I think for me, whenever the Doctor regenerates, obviously he doesn't just change his face, he changes his character too. So I've obviously been wondering, as has everybody, what kind of character the Doctor's going to be. And I wanted him to be something interesting and something different, because what's the point of him just being Matt Smith's Doctor again? Yeah, yeah. And he was nothing if not mysterious tonight. And I suppose my standout bits were when he left Clara, and I genuinely didn't know. This is down when they were captured by the half-face robot. Yeah. Yeah. So they were captured by the half-face robots, and they were both running through a door. The door shut in the middle, leaving Clara on the side of the robots and the Doctor on the other side. And that's happened a million times in Doctor Who before. Yeah. And he grabs his sonic screwdriver out, he opens the door, and the companion... Or shouts like, I'll come back for you, I will find you. Exactly. Yeah. Whereas this Doctor just just kind of shrugged his shoulders and went, well, there's no point in both of us dying.
Yeah.
And left. And I genuinely thought that he'd gone.
Especially as they then had her attempt to save herself as well. And it was quite an extended period of trying to save herself.
And it was quite scary as well. And it made me kind of be like, how long could I hold my breath for?
I was thinking, sometimes it's the simplest thing. We've said this with Doctor Who, like, you know how, like, it's the simplest things that are the scariest things. It's the statues, it's the not being able to blink, it's the fuzziness in the TV, or just how long can you hold your breath, you know, and that was scary. And then, but then of course he does come and save her. I also liked, I liked it's different that they opposite that a lot of the end of the episode was spent with the Clara character basically kind of saying reassuring the Clara character that she should stick with this new doctor. And I think that's kind of a two-pronged thing, isn't it? He's speaking to Clara, but he's also speaking to the audience. I think it's like a, but then I thought, well, why would you put that in? 'Cause it's almost like kind of apologizing. It's almost like kind of saying, give this doctor a go. Just because he's different doesn't mean he's bad. It almost feels a bit kind of.
The points of having the companion is that we see through things through their eyes. We can relate. We can relate to what it feels like for Clara.
Yeah.
Because lots of people were very attached to the Matt Smith doctor, and it is hard when you're then having to accept somebody new. So, like that, not to be too cheesy about it, but that phone call from the Matt Smith doctor. It was to us as well.
well, it was. They very much were trying to say. I mean, they were. It was very opaque, very overt. And he kind of said, "Yeah, I know what I said. It was me. I am the same guy. It is. I am the same character."
Now, I've got another point to make about that accepting the new doctor, but I think that the cat might have just jumped in Izzy's new bed.
Okay.
So I'm about to go into the. Oh no, he's there. Hello. I hope you're not getting in Izzy's bed.
Well, we're all looking forward to this new point about what about the new doctor. But if there's a cat in the bed,
I really liked the character of the mystery of the character of the new doctor, and I really liked the slight kind of darkness about him as well.
And he's mysterious to himself as well, isn't he? Where's my face come from? Why am I old? What the hell's up with my eyebrows?
Yeah. And especially if you've seen that trailer where he kind of says, "Be a pal."
Yeah, be a pal to me, Clara. My good man.
So he doesn't know who he is. Now, the one thing I wasn't so sure about with the Doctor's character is his kind of vulnerability with that.
Yeah.
Particularly at the end where he's the previous Doctor is kind of saying, he's really scared, give him a chance.
Yeah.
And Clara's then kind of helping him not be scared. I think I quite like my doctors strong rather than scared, which isn't to say that they can't have any vulnerabilities, because the Tenant Doctor, everyone knows he was completely screwed up. But for me, I like them being the strong one.
But it was definitely it was unusual, because basically he was almost kind of begging Clara to stay.
Yeah.
I need you. Whereas the other doctors have more kind of invited their companions rather than kind of begged them. It was a show of vulnerability, I agree. And also a complete admission that this doctor is mucked up, like from the very start.
Yeah.
But none of these things are bad. It's more just things to notice. But I do like the way it feels different, and I do like the way that it's not Matt Smith Part 2, and it's not just Matt Smith's storylines with a different doctor. Like, the whole thing felt different. I could have lived without. I've moaned about this with Amy. I could have lived without the over sexualization of Vastra. Like, they seem to kind of crank up the flirtatious lesbian lizard thing to about 10, and I don't really, other than kind of titillation, I don't really get it.
No.
And I have to admit, I would be, if I was, if Izzy was watching it and was starting to understand what was going on, I think I might be a little bit. Well, Izzy was watching it, but she won't get those kind of things. And that random lesbian kiss in the middle that was like for sharing air. It's like that wasn't. I mean, that was.
It kind of almost felt to me like they were doing the lesbian thing just to do the lesbian thing. It's like they're gay or they're straight. I don't care.
No, I don't care. Yeah.
But we don't want it in our faces, regardless of the.
Well, they've done gay plot lines, like homosexual plot lines in the past in Doctor Who, and it does always feel a little bit forced. Like, oh yes, we've got a gay character, and now it feels a little bit like, and we've got a lesbian character, but repeatedly.
It's nicer if it's not a big deal.
Well, I quite liked the line from Jenny that kind of said, "Yes, I love her, and she's a lizard." You know, it kind of established the relationship. It wasn't completely.
Yeah.
It wasn't sexualized, but it was there as a kind of thing, and that was fine. But then it went, but then Vastra kept kind of bringing back kind of like attraction, kind of elements to it. Let's see if we can bring on Magical and Small Blue Monkey. I haven't tried this one before with these guys. So hopefully they've got a good microphone. So we'll give them a call and we'll see what we get. It looks like Twitch has sorted itself out a little bit. So if you've got any comments about the show, exclamation mark, question, and stick a comment up, and it should appear up here. And if I see some I like, I'll put them up on the screen for other people to read as well. Let's see if we can get Small Blue Monkey on here. If this doesn't work, I'll just have to hang up, I'm afraid, but we'll see how it goes. Hello, can you hear me? Hang on, I can't hear anyone, but hang on, that might be my fault in my options. 1 second. Let's try that one. Sorry, hello, can you hear me?
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, yes, I can hear you as well.
Hey, Abby.
Welcome to the show. What should I call you? Magical and Monkey? Is that, will that do?
That works.
Oh, and synchronised and in harmony as well. Let me. If any, I don't know if Twitch chat is working, but if the volume levels aren't right, just let me know and I'll try and tweak them. So before I ask you about the episode, Magical and Monkey, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where are you calling from, and
and who are you?
And who are you?
Well, I'm Magical. I live in Holland. I'm English, which I think you can kind of hear. Yeah,
We can hear you
I've got
English.
2 boys who are also monkeys. Oops. And I'm just destroying my nail clipper, which I was fiddling with.
Oh. And Magical and Monkey, are you mother and son, husband and wife, or friends?
No,
or what?
Magical's my girlfriend.
Oh.
And the rest about me you know from when I was in Cardiff with Lee.
Absolutely. So go on then. I hear you've got a bit of a rant. So, let's go one stage at a time. But what did you think of Deep Breath tonight?
Loved it.
It was brilliant. I wasn't sure I was going to like him because I had a lot of trouble adjusting to Matt Smith. But actually, yeah, this works. I liked it.
I think we're almost not supposed to have adjusted yet. How have we? Like we're supposed to be not quite knowing what he is yet. I felt that he was a bit like, the opening scene before the credits when he was kind of walking around a bit dazed. I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure I like this dialogue. But by the end, when he was ranting, I thought it was good fun. What did you particularly like about the episode?
I think partly him finding himself in a way, because he's sort of wandering around, not sure who he is, and he's still not entirely sure, but he's a bit more sure than he was before, and.
It was definitely an episode which showed a transition of the character, didn't it? Like, again, very dialogue heavy.
And it did that in a much darker way, I think, than when the Matt Smith Doctor came in. Because do you remember all the fish fingers and custard? Finding himself before was very playful.
It
worked so much better than the fish fingers and custard thing.
Yeah, that was more slapstick in a way.
It was slapstick. I mean, I don't think Fish and Custard was bad. It was just very different. And I think the way they did it with Tennant was he was just asleep for the whole episode. And then with Smith, it was Fish Fingers and Custard. And this time it was more like calling people the wrong names, stumbling around. But what you really sensed with him, he was a man struggling with his own identity. Yeah. Which was good. What did you think of the enemies tonight? This man with half a face.
Well, the Girl in the Fireplace episodes creep me out no end, and this just joined in with the additional creep out thing, because as soon as the Clockwork stuff showed up and you could see part of the face, I thought, oh God, not again.
It was Clockwork, yeah. It was interesting because I think they had a lot of subliminal, is that a word?
Yes.
Subliminal
Yeah.
links to previous Doctor Who. Because I think one of the things that obviously the first episode always tries to do is basically say, this is the Doctor you've always loved, but it's new, but it's still the same. And so by linking back to a previous Tennant episode in The Girl of the Fireplace, mentioning the Tom Baker scarf, having Clara say things like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And there's probably other things that I've missed as well, but I think they were all the way through trying to say, this is the Doctor that was your previous Doctor. Do you know what I mean?
You know him. He's still the Doctor. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
Did I miss any other references? I thought there were maybe a couple more, but those were kind of some of the overt ones. Clara, any problems with the episode? Anything you thought, ooh, not sure?
It might just be that I'm exceptionally tired after a 5 a.m. start and a trek from Devon back to London. But I did get lost on the plot a couple of times.
In which particular, what, like the flesh, what the robots are trying to do?
I got that now. I completely got what the robots were trying to do. It's actually the resolution of the plot.
Okay.
Like when they were kind of having that standoff about whether he was going to murder him or he was going to die. I kind of got lost around that area, and then he ended up in heaven.
Well, you helped me to understand that one, actually, because we were talking that I got a bit lost in the dialogue, and I asked Claire afterwards what it was about. So this was the scene where you had the Capaldi doctor and you had the half-faced man standing together, and the half-faced man says, "I'm not going to kill myself," and the doctor says, "Well, I'm not going to kill you," and then the doctor says, "Well, one of us is lying," and then the next thing we see is the guy, the robot, dead, basically, although he's not dead. But I think the implication is that it's setting up a mystery. Did he jump or was he pushed? How dark is the Doctor's character? Which I thought was quite nice. What did you make of that scene?
Yeah, I think it's setting something up. What with the whole thing with the bit in the garden and saying, "Oh, what did you think of my boyfriend?"
That's true. She looks. I
think there's something coming there.
I think she looks a little bit like Clara.
Who does?
The lady in the garden. Like she's got the same kind.
I think everyone looks like.
I think everyone looks like everyone. I don't think everyone looks like Clara. But interestingly, earlier in the episode, Capaldi used the phrase boyfriend to Clara, and then at the end, that lady used the phrase boyfriend.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out straws on kind of plot lines. Alvin in the chat has just mentioned the new theme tune and the new credits. I have to say I really like them. There was some questionable bits, like it had the ooh wee, then it wiggled. It was like ooh wee, and it was like whoa. They messed with the notes. But I liked the clocks, and I liked the.
Did you see where it came from?
Yeah, I did. I was just reading about it on the BBC news page. Apparently, some guy just made it as a hobby, and Moffat said, "I love it."
Moffat happened to see it, and he's like, "Let's do that."
They tweaked it slightly. I watched the original I watched it just before I started the show. If you head over to BBC News page, you can see the original that this guy made basically at home. And what they have is that at the end there's this pocket watch that turns round and Capaldi's face is on it, and then the clock turns round again. But on the actual one they showed tonight, it was just like the eyebrows going across. Which was which is cool. Did you guys have any problems with the episode, Monkey and Magical? Was there anything there you thought, "Oh, I'm not sure about that"? Or did you love every second?
I think it's one of these ones where you got to think that it's setting up a lot. I think there's unresolved questions, as you say. Did he jump or was he pushed? And I think in some cases they're being vague about a number of things.
I agree, but I wouldn't say that's a problem. I think that they're setting up deliberate mysteries. Although Doctor Who doesn't always answer its questions, does it? It often.
Sometimes it answers the questions 2 series later, by which time we've forgotten.
I thought the opening, very, very opening scene with Capaldi staggering out of the TARDIS was actually quite weak. I didn't enjoy that very early set of dialogue. I didn't think it was very funny or very clever, but I thought it got a lot stronger as it went. But that's just I might watch it again tomorrow and actually that scene was fine. But I wasn't so keen on that one. Well, Magical and Monkey, thanks so much for joining us. Any final thoughts on the episode?
Enjoyed it. We're really looking forward to next week.
I think the initial first few will be quite a lot of sitting back and just letting it happen and then working out what it was afterwards.
Yes, I think there'll be lots and lots of... but I think that's always good. I think it's good to have a few things that are resolved in each episode and then a few things that are open-ended for the whole series, because it gives like an arc to the whole kind of plot line.
Can I just say, there's somebody in the chat, Quasar something, who said please no spoilers because they've not seen it yet. This is definitely not the right stream for you if you don't want spoilers, because we all have seen it and we are talking about the plot and what happened. So I suggest that you go ahead and watch it, and then come back and enjoy the stream another time.
Yeah, I'll put this.
Will ruin it.
Yeah, I'll put this review up on YouTube afterwards, so you can watch it again. You can watch it again later, which would be good.
Warnings about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the plotline as well. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Hopefully, maybe we can make this a regular thing and get your thoughts.
Thank you for having us, and yes, it would be fun. Not sure you can have us both at the same time because, well, normally we don't live in the same country.
So you've gone over for a little visit. Well, it's great to have you guys on, and a good quality microphone has to be said.
Done.
Yes, good quality. Always like the technical things.
Technical is important.
All right, catch you soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So has tonight's episode made you... People do like to see Izzy. Can we put Izzy on camera? Why are you sighing? She's a beautiful...
Because I've been up with her since 5 a.m. and she's still awake.
She is.
That's why I'm sighing.
She is. Has tonight's episode made you more excited for next week? Because I think it has for me.
Yes, it has. It's made me slightly less... You know how you were saying before that you were a bit nervous?
Yeah, like, oh...
It's made me slightly less nervous.
I have a nerve, though.
What's your nerve?
Well, in the well, there's definitely spoilers here, but at the you know how the trailer for next week's episode, it's going to be a Dalek episode, and I'm apart from the first Dalek episode, I've never been a fan of Dalek episode. They just turn into loads and loads of blowing things up. So I'm less nervous about the character, and I'm less nervous about the style. I am nervous about Daleks because they often suck.
Well, maybe you should keep an open mind because maybe it'll be a good Dalek episode.
Maybe I should. It did look a bit more kind of stealthy and kind of like it reminded me of those cramped spaceship episodes we've had before with people kind of running around.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Jenny wants to know whether Izzy has a mohawk.
Kinda. She's kind of lost her hair here and kept it here, but we love it so much. We've decided to keep it.
We might shave that pattern back in her when it grows back.
Exactly. It's like having Mr. T if he was a girl and a baby and white.
Yeah.
All of those things combined. Sounds like Sofa Spud might come and join us as well to discuss his thoughts. He likes to have his little rants about Doctor Who, so we'll give him a little call and see if we can get him on. I thought they did a lot more with Clara.
Yes, I was going to say that. I thought they did a lot more with Clara.
I've been concerned with Clara that, and we've mentioned this on Legacy streams. I think she'd become a bland wallflower, but they not only did they give her lots to talk about, which was good, they also gave her a character by actually having the Doctor call her egotistical control freak, and which is good. She needs a personality. Spud, are you there?
I am here. I'm on my phone, but not on the mic because the mic's not working. Because computers are awesome. Sorry, go on.
We're just talking about Clara. So Clara, what did you think about Clara? Oh, that's confusing.
Clara, what do you think about Clara? I definitely thought that they fleshed out her character a bit more, and they gave her some more kind of
Yes.
When she did that rant to Vastra. I mean, to be honest, that whole thing was a little bit weird.
It was.
But she did stick up for herself, which was nice.
Well, I think they were direct. You know how we said earlier that the episode is both talking to Clara as a character, but also to the audience. I think there's going to be a lot of the audience that's sitting there going, I don't fancy him. He's old.
Yeah.
He's not youthful anymore. And I think that whole bit was basically the Clara character going, I don't fancy him anymore, but he's still the Doctor.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
And I'm going to stick with him because that's the kind of person I am. But yeah, that scene was weird. But the whole veil thing. When did you take the veil off? The point you stopped seeing it. What? But it worked. So Spud, what did on the Clara theme? How did you think she did?
I think she had a lot more personality than she has done for the whole of her adventure in Doctor Who so far. She actually showed anger and a human side, where before it was like, oh, I'm Clara, oh, and now it's like, oh,
I'm the girl who saved the Doctor.
Oh, he's an angry, weird Scotsman. I'm not quite sure if I want to be here. Even
almost left by the look of it.
Yeah, until the good-looking Doctor Who, which no one actually thought was good-looking when it first started. I just remembered that. But by the end, everyone fancied him. But yeah, until he went, it's still me. I'm just Scottish. It's cool.
It's just me. I'm just Scottish and old.
I'm just Scottish.
What if I did that? What if I did that, Clary? What if I suddenly went Scottish and old? Would you still love me?
Only if your current version phoned me.
And said it's okay.
From the future past. And told me that I should.
Okay, well, I'll have to make sure I arrange that. Spud, the general consensus so far seems to be thumbs up for the episode. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, very much so. I have to disagree with the theme music. I didn't like it. It sounded like a snake charmer was doing it. I didn't like that. I preferred
snake charmer.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But the episode was brilliant, and I liked like you when you first came out the TARDIS. I heard the bit where you were saying about you didn't think the first load of dialogue with him was great, but by the time he got on the horse and went looking for the bit with the dinosaur, when he was really angry about the dinosaur situation, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good Doctor. So yeah, I liked it. Overall, it was brilliant, and I especially liked, if you remember, my mum and her being Scottish and her hatred for the English for no apparent reason at all, considering, you know, I was born in England and my dad was more or less English. Apart from those two facts, hated English. And the scene in the alleyway where he's talking to that homeless guy, and the homeless guy goes, oh, you know, do you know what's happening here? Oh, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to play in English. I thought it was brilliant. Oh, that was good. That did remind me of
I really like that. I really like the scene with the homeless guy. I thought that was really a nice, lovely bit of dialogue between some two guys.
Someone in the chat has said, "What did Capaldi say? I can understand a word because of his accent."
That's Forbury 2001. What did Capaldi say? I could not understand a word because of his accent. What do you think?
I'm going to be honest. I had some problems.
I'm going to be honest as well, considering, again, my mum was Scottish and had a Scottish accent. Up until the beginning, when he was all over the place and he didn't quite know, you know, which was on purpose, obviously, because he was being confused and stuff. But I got used to it and I understood him by the end. But up until the point where he started to really embrace being the Doctor again and not being confused and stuff, I was like, what was he saying? Because he was just going on about bedrooms and being
confused. If he is saying that, I wonder how people who
like American
people or people from Europe who aren't really used to the Scottish accent so much are gonna handle that.
He reminded me, this is an awful comparison and I'm probably going to get shot down by both of you, but he reminded me a little bit of Popeye. Because you know how Popeye like just mumbles under his breath, but he's actually making quite little funny jokes, but you just can only kind of half hear them, and they're kind of like little brief asides. He had that kind of like, you know, he talks quite fast and quickly, and I kept finding I'd hear the first half of his sentence or his first joke and not the second, which is cool because it means I guess I have to watch it twice and try and pick up the rest of the dialogue. But I agree. I think, the fact they've openly addressed he's got his accent throughout that, I guess, kind of gives them permission to kind of stick with it. But it will be interesting to see if they tone down his accent to make sure that they can.
Well, he went up and down with it. When the moment he realised that his voice was the one that's changed and everyone else's voices were normal, which I thought was another great scene. Again, in the alleyway with the homeless guy, he really went Scottish. He really it was like, and then he toned it back down again a little bit. Just I'm Scottish. It was like, oh yeah, this is cool. But yeah, I agree with you. There was lots of mumbling under, you know, not really audible jokes. But again, I got used to it. I think I had to turn my Scottish ear back on, so to speak.
If I'm going to be very, very picky, the bit I mentioned this to Claire just before it came on. The bit I've got a slight issue with is the dinosaur, because and this is just I'm going to undo what I said earlier, but it feels sometimes that they always like to kind of start off with something kind of quite spectacular, and it doesn't really matter if that actually helps the plot or not, but they just want to have something that's kind of like ta-da, and the whole idea of a dinosaur walking through London is a